Hey, we love that umbrella guy. All right. Thank you.
I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem under the name ThATuMBRELLAgUY. I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me. I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. I told him to call me.
You know what? I talk to your man.
What's up, baby? How's it going today? It has been a wild one, I swear. We have a lot of stuff to go on. A lot of stuff. By the way, I've been hearing some crazy stuff today. Like, let's see, what all has happened today. I've got let's start it with this one. Today I got an anonymous email from somebody I'm going to guess is in the ecosystem. And they forwarded over something that Bruce had apparently sent to Randy. He had sent it to a bunch of them. It was him complaining about Ray being part of the lawsuit. He better let him go or else. Why do I think it's one of them, by the way? Because I mean, if it was else, he wouldn't hide who he was. So I got that sent to me. It looks like Libs has vacated the premises, as in websites are now gone too. Strangely, everything's disappearing. So it looks like she wanted to pack her bags and leave. Isn't that a strange sight? We also have new filings, and on top of that, last night, well, we had some fireworks kick off where apparently, let's see, let me quote this here. If LP does not get on board and essentially shut her mouth, then they're going to, this is the quote here by 2L and the gang, we're going to abandon ship or we're going to throw you overboard. Oh my. We're going to throw you overboard. Wow, that couldn't be any clearer as a threat. Get in line, shut up about your money, or else. Holy mackerel. What a day, man. Tomorrow, by the way, we will also have the pair say lawyer. Come on, we will talk about all of these wonderful developments. There might be we'll talk about a crazy development too today. What if I were to tell you that somebody doesn't want to be part of this anymore? And I'm not talking about the pair say, I'm talking about since maybe his representation is so great, we have somebody that is totally wanting to drop out and go away. Isn't that strange? Isn't that something? Oh my goodness. I want to read you something today, first of all. I actually want to read you. Now, I listened to a few clips yesterday. By the way, I'm telling you, these weirdos' preoccupation with my kids is strange. You know, in fact, first they're preoccupied with this older lady's child. They have some preoccupation there with a kid around 5. Now they seem to have some preoccupation with a 5 and an 11-year-old. Strange, very strange that you would continue to talk about that. By the way, never let them shop themselves. As back in the day, you know, they like to bring up how they were pro Johnny Depp, and they bring up all these Amber Heard at talking points. Never let them go down that road. You know, never risked anything. Just jumped on the bandwagon, what, a year, 2 years after the fact. So crazy bad. But yeah, they got this preoccupation with little kids. It's very, like I said, strange. No accusation in that. Just, why would you continue to talk about them? You know, it's weird, too, that they've said that they would continue. They're going to do Christmas no matter what. They said that the other day. That's weird. You know, if you were to aim something toward my kid and it was uninvited, I would contact the proper authorities on you. You know, I mean, people give candy to kids too. It's not invited. So, you know, you're like, no, teach my kid not to take that. Just saying, very strange. Now, last night, I mean, they were very vocal about this this tossing somebody overboard. They had some other stuff to say too. I thought we would actually look at a little bit of a breakdown from one. I watched So You Don't Have To, because it's been a minute since we looked over there, you know. And you definitely should subscribe to them. They have by the way, give me 1 second here. I Watch So You Don't Have To has a good breakdown. Again, follow them. They also, if you enjoyed their stuff, they have a Buy Me a Coffee set up as well, too. But their breakdowns are pretty good. So a lot of people have been subscribing over there as well. There's been about 870 people that have started following them, which is great. I mean, they do funny breakdowns. I enjoy them. You know, typically I leave a bunch of them alone because I want people to follow and to make sure that they watch them. I mean, like I said, they have their own thing going on, and I love the fact that they grift better. You know what I mean? That in a good way than the idiots over there. they turn 11 minutes of covering 2Ls into a better grift than the idiots that are out there doing it themselves. Oh, I love that. I do. You know, so bizarre, man. So check this mess out. Let's see. 1 second. Here we go. All right. Oh, we'll break this down. Then, like I said, we have some good stuff. We have filings. We have a certain email. Like I said, apparently, if you're sick, this is the message here. Apparently, if you're sick or somebody around you is sick, then lawsuits, no, can't have that. And if so, if you continue it, you're going to get reported to the bar. I love that. I love that it turns out to be threats. Maybe, like I said, I don't know what ecosystem person that sent it over. I think it's rather interesting though. You know, it was sent. It had it didn't have the email itself. It had something with stuff that was across it. Again, I made sure that it was real, but oh my God, you're gonna love tonight. It's gonna be good. Anyway, let's check this out. So let's check this one out first here. Let me blow this up just a bit. So again, now what's funny is this breakdown is so good. Like I said, at the end of it, when you look, there's a Buy Me a Coffee too. So if you enjoy what they do, got a 5-hour live stream. Jeez, man. They have turned turning on Lynette Preston into a money-making opportunity. You know, how does that make this make sense to me again? How do you toss Lynette Preston out of pro-Preston movement? Simple. It's not a pro-Preston movement. It's an anti-Hales movement. That actually backs up what Hales is saying in court. They have built an anti-Hales business. It seems to back it up, right? Because they say, well, no, it was about an older lady and indigent. Oh, wait. I mean, it's about a little girl. No. It's about anti-Hales. So strange you would make that point when you're being sued. You know, again, turning on the very person there. We also, weirdly enough, Preston has not dropped a video that she promised or been online. Like I said, I imagine behind the scenes, but they are doing everything in their power to get her back into the fold, you know, to get her to shut up. Telling her, you ain't going to get nothing. Well, you know what? You know what's weird about that? According to her, she's not getting anything anyway. So, I mean, if you're delivering a whole lot of nothing, then... Oh, my God. That's so... Oh, by the way, 2Ls put out a, quote, by Bruce, a $1,000 reward for anyone that could that could show an online posting calling Jeremy Hales a child predator. Okay. By Cook or LMNOP. I could do that right now. Again, there are videos out there where they're saying that he creeps on little girls taking pictures of them and stuff. That's exactly what it's called. Give me my $1,000. You know, Biscuit Boy video. I downloaded it myself. I put it away. Give me my money. Want my money, Bruce. Pay up. 100%. John Cook did an interview with it. That's 100%. It's a fucking interview with him talking about it. I watched it. It was painful to watch. Oh. But yeah, I want my $1,000. Send it over. I'll take a PayPal, Venmo, whatever. Send it over right now. There's one of them, right? That's funny, though. Such manipulation. They'll be like, we never saw anything, though. It's like, are you kidding me, dude? I just told you. Oh, let me show you one thing first before we start this one. I want to show you one other thing. Somebody posted. I almost forgot about this. You know, I was thinking about it. Whoever sent that email, by the way, I was thinking they're like Santa, but I don't know who they are. So I'm going to call them synonymous. It's anonymous Santa. Synonymous. All right, check this out. I'm going to show you something. What other thing beforehand? I thought this was fun. This is some screenshots that were over on one of the posting boards from Marla. Marla, what? They're so apparently John Cook also is not speaking to Marla. So isn't that interesting? We're finding out more and more about Marla. You know, Marla, who has injected herself into all of this stuff and spoken for John Cook and spoken for Lynette Preston. Apparently, according to Lynette Preston, she hasn't talked to her in a year or around there, about a year. And apparently John Cook isn't talking to her either. That's strange. It's very strange when someone commandeers your voice. When they also go that far into the bag for you, and yet, isn't that weird? Yeah, I know, Shirley. Like, we heard them saying stuff, man. I mean, these people gaslight you. They won't pay me my $1,000, by the way, or yours. You know, you all are welcome to mail over, post links to show them. 100%. Demand your $1,000 every time. They'll block you after that. You watch. They will indeed block you for demanding your $1,000 after you show proof. But yeah, I mean, it's so funny when they flex like that. They're like, "Ugh," and people are like, okay, well, here's one instance. There are multiple ones. I want my grant. I'd be like, it never happened. You're like, dude, I showed you. How many times have we shown you? Like, this time that this has happened, this time that this happened. Okay. But let's see. It sounds to me like she's starting to trust people who she shouldn't. And she needs not talk to anybody. Look what happened with Smartt. You know, like they love to insult Shara. But look what happened with Shara trusting her. You know, what's weird is Shara probably would have I wonder what she would have found in investigation. I'm not saying she wouldn't have, but they treated her like garbage over and over again. Even BBB messages seem to imply that, right? So it does make you wonder. So to blame Shara out there, it's pretty bizarre there. But yeah, you know, LMNOP's done that a lot. It's why she's not speaking to me again. Same process, rather. I warn and she gets mad. Oh, you commandeer her voice and she didn't like that. That's fun. And by the way, I told you so. We said over and over again, they will turn on you. By the way, those gifted memberships, they were beautiful. That stream of giftos, that was awesome. Thank you, folks, dude. It is a rather bizarre thing to have somebody tell you that there. Well, MP trusts the wrong people too often. Yeah, it sounds like it. It sounds like there are 56,000 reasons not to trust the same people out there, right? I got 56,000 problems. You know what? And Jeremy Hales, he ain't one. I mean, seriously. Right now, she's like, I'll never trust anybody again. Why? Well, I wonder. Again, what was the statement that was noted, we're going to abandon ship or we're going to throw you overboard. That's, again, that direct quote. I wrote it down directly. It's amazing, man. Let's see. How would she have finished the barn without the donation? She still ain't finished shit, people. Oh, my God. How would she finish it? You haven't started anything. You bought her a pile of lumber, a toilet, and an island. What the heck, man? I mean, come on, get real. This whole, it's coming. It's coming. I promise it's coming. Okay. On top of that, the whole, we don't have enough money to finish it. That's rather a surprise too, isn't it? And yeah, it's true. She would never finish that there, and if the money would have actually gone to her, there would be something. There would be a monument to something, And again, even if they hurry and put up some kind of skeletal structure now, if they don't hire a contractor, oh my God, dude. You watch, it's going to be an absolute mess. And again, Preston was like, hey, we've got to have permits, by the way. When they're like, we'll do it without permits. Oh, my God. I won't betray her. That's Groet. Let's go. For a while, someone convinced her that everyone donating was through her efforts, not 2Ls. I corrected her. So another brick in the wall for her. Blocking you, by the way. Wow. So it's not just not talking to. It's blocked. Well. How about that? How about that indeed? And told you, man. I told you this stuff would be like, it'd be like hungry hippos. You throw $1 on the floor and watch them try to gobble it all up. Hungry tortoise. It's a good version of it. Oh my God. Can you imagine? That would be a pretty good game. You throw down like a silver dollar and a bunch of long-necked tortoises try to grab it, And if they hit each other first, there needs to be some way where they have little arms or, little feet so they can slap each other too. They can turn on each other. They can be besties. They start out holding hands. If you ever played Hungry Hippo, you know what I'm talking about. You have the little setup. There's like a little hippo with a little mouth, and it tries to grab a little ball. Sorry, I hit the microphone. I was moving my hands. But it tries to grab the little thing in the middle. They try to grab it first. We need a turtle version of that. But all the little turtles, they need to have like little feet, and they need to have their feet almost, they're interlaced. Where they look like friends at first, but you learn you have a button on the side where you can reach up and smack the other one in the face and try to keep them from getting your silver dollar. There should also be a yacht edition. Apparently, maybe they wanted to have the yacht edition so they could throw someone overboard. I get it now. It's always been code. They were going to have their cruise because they were going to throw someone overboard. Holy shit. I never thought about that. That's amazing. Anyway, I won't betray her, but I can't say I'm not very hurt. Oh my God, these people. By the way, Vomit is a very good researcher and reporter. A good researcher. Oh my God. You mean the dude who he's like, give me some money and I'll post whatever the fuck you give me? That guy? Oh, holy God. Oh, a very good researcher indeed. But look who they take shots at. They're like, paint chips though. He just wants attention. He has money. Why do you think he has money, by the way? You think he hid away a few of those dollarinos, those dollary-doos back in the day? You think that's what he's got? Because, he was pleading indigence as well with a court. He was like, I don't have anything at all. So yeah, not exactly strapped for cash, or strapped with cash rather. You'll see, by the way, I'll accept everybody at the end if there's people who come up, you know. So if you see names, I didn't turn off the add-on. So everybody that wants that, I am Tad Guy, TADGUY. You know, again, Thaddeus, Thaddeus or Tad. But I thought that was funny. Now let's get over to the breakdown of the night crazy. Oh, by the way, Laura, I did grab you there, just to say. When that came up, I automatically hit the I thought it was a pop-up on my side of the screen. So sometimes I get a pop-up and you can't see them. I thought that's what that was. All right, so I watched so you don't have to. For 7:15, that would be yesterday for anyone that has been keeping track, by the way. Dangerous process server fails. Or, by the way, they did admit something interesting last night, too. They admitted that there was they say there was no high-speed chase, but there was indeed a process server. All of that stuff is legit. Again, they claim that they didn't get served. Well, they talked about it, and they took efforts to stop that from being served. So they dodged service, and they talked about it last night. Oh God. Why would you ever bring that up? If you're dodging service, why would you ever admit you were dodging service? I mean, it's just the most bizarre thing we've ever heard. No. Or my version of the attack of the high husband. This is from, again, last night too. After the customary hello flows from Fleeca's Dorito hole to the dwellers. I love these. These are so funny. Starts to wind down. The Gabby Gabster shuffles up behind the Flea. Shuffle, shuffle. Flea gives us the heads up warning because she's unsure what he'll say. We get the blink, blink, by the way. I can imagine the blink, blink. In a deep, serious voice, the Gabster starts by telling us that while overall he's just a goofy jokester, and usually he's the calm one, quote, but there are other parts to me too. Blink, blink. The dwellers lean in really close, staring straight ahead at the Gabby Gabber, and then over to the Flea, as if looking for an explanation for what is happening. Quote, like for instance, protecting my wife's good name, golf, or my wife in general. The deep voice, the serious tone, has a few dwellers near tears, and a few whooping and hollering in support of General Flea's honor. Blink, blink. Quote, but I stay out of most of her little debates and stuff for whatever. I stay out of it. By the way, how about we call them vile rants fueled with hatred instead of little debates? Jeez. Quote, but the moment you say anything bad about her, as her husband, as somebody who has been with her 20 years, my job is to protect her. Oh, see, ladies, chivalry ain't dead. I roll. This is where the quote came from, by the way. But I listened to the clip of it myself for it. Fleeca laughs at him because his words seem corny, unlike the quote-unquote usual play toy she mocks nightly. The Gabster pays no attention and yearns to continue his well-thought-out speech. He pulls out, box Costco sized, and steps up. Now, if I'm wrong, if I'm right, or if I'm right, if I'm wrong, I really don't care because I feel my job is to protect her. He stammers and continues. By the way, this is making it a lot easier to listen to and read than it was. It was not fun to listen to. So what I'm going to say is, and I think they will know what I'm saying and who I'm talking about. Blink, blink. The shadows have eyes tonight. And the weak are quivering in their corner. The temperature drops as the Gabby Gabster continues his gallant speech. His voice gets deeper, more precise, and it sounds like he's having a real dying duck fit. Gasp. If there is one more time as a person, as a protector of my family, there's one more negative thing ever said about, his arms suddenly point to the flea, this woman here, because I'm the one who lives in the house. I watch her. So it says in parentheses, so do we, and some of us actually live to tell her right about it. Blink, blink. I come home from work. She's on the computer doing her job for the last year, day and night. Well, butter my butt and call me a biscuit. It's been a year? Please. It is crazy, isn't it there? The gabster's ready to throw gauntlets and guillotines at those who dishonor the walrus and flea, the creature of his dreams. Collecting research. This and that, collecting research. Putting in hours, my ass. Doing a 5-hour live stream is not research. Just to say, when you sit online and talk for 5 hours, that's not actually research. The research comes before that. This and that. And to get anything negative from the person that she has been donating her time to hear anything negative about her, I'm sorry if I feel that is. I'm pulling her out. Wait, what? Yes, he said that, by the way. Yes, I am pulling her out, you know? Now, we can visibly see that the gabster is the gabster, rather. I call him the gabster. The gabster is upset. It must be true that every man has a breaking point, as we can almost feel the man's pain from his broken sentences and weird sentence structure. Mary Jane induced, sure, but it's still moving. Oh, man, that is so touching. Blink, blink. I'm pulling her out, it continues. My job is to protect her. You'll be history. It's either we're going to abandon ship or we're going to throw you overboard the next time it happens. Again, you know who that's addressed to. Again, if Lynette Preston asks a question about her money, they're going to throw her over. They're going to turn on her. They're going to go knives out. Isn't that something? The promise there. So the people that have her money are taking to the microphone to tell her that you stay in line and you shut them up, or else. That 100% is what that is all about. I mean, that blows my mind here, you know. And again, you know, 2L is like, up, alrighty then, there you have it. So again, that's exactly what they were going with. And again, you should follow. I watch so you don't have to. You just you shorten that up. IWSYDHT. There's more here. They watch so you don't have to. Between them, you can also get you some wonderful breakdowns from the Per Se Lawyer, just J-Hip. When you put all of that together, you have one heck of a mighty offering. It is something to watch. But yeah, I thought that was one heck of a statement to come out with. Flexing and pretending to be a man. By the way, remember, this is a person that's not supposed to be involved with this too. Remember when their history came up, when all of that came up, they didn't have any connection to this whatsoever. That's what we're told. Now they have moved into the place on the mic. They're talking about stuff. They're talking about the money. I'm surprised this has not been reported to the police. I mean, honestly, like at this point, I'm surprised that it has not been reported to the police. Because how in the world does this situation materialize here? Where, again, when the Only Me stuff popped off, it was because of the background of a certain individual. You know, their background with, we went over it. We'll go over it again Monday, I suppose. We'll talk about that a little bit more. But with that, we were told that that didn't matter. First of all, we had all this stammering bullshit about how it wasn't real, which it was. You could look it up yourself. There's definitely a background out there. You can look that up. But on top of that, we were told that they had no involvement whatsoever in any of this. Now you have fast forwarded months later to they have direct involvement and they are going after the person whose money that is. This should be a giant red flag to people, but they just don't give a fuck. Again, it's not about, just remember, again, it's not a pro-Preston movement. They can say anything that they want. Give me 1 second. Man, I got a cough. I may have to cough again. This freaking weather out here is awful, by the way. Let me get a drink. The weather is terrible out here. Like today, I was like, oh my God, man, my head is going to explode. So, give me 1 second. There we go. I was like, ugh. If you've never lived in the U.S. South, whoa, it's a beautiful place, but it is oppressively hot. And on top of being oppressively hot, every freaking thing pollinates around here. So certain times of year, it feels like your senses are under assault every time that you step out your door, every time you breathe. It's like, oh my God, are you kidding me? But I thought that one was very interesting. So again, you would think people would have a little concern about that, right? But apparently they don't. Now let's talk about, give me a minute here. I'm saving something real fast, too. I'm saving those moral statements. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you, it actually spawns off of one of the documents, the Bruce letter that came in that is sent. Like I said, I feel like one of the ecosystem probably sent it over or something. It's bizarre the way it popped in. Again, if I were being sent it by somebody on it, they wouldn't hide it. So I'm curious about which you can tell me, by the way, one of you ecosystem folks. Lips, was it you? I'm curious. You're out. Did you send me this? It was sent as a screenshot, and I redacted it. But the way that this spawned off is, give me a second here. The way this spawned off is you had a notice of service. You'll notice that the person being served through this is Ray, right? This is document 95, by the way, for those of you that are keeping up with everything. And apparently, if a person said the hypocrisy to what we're going to talk about is unreal. These are the same people when George was talking about being sick and dealing with the very real, the specter of cancer. You know, I mean, I'm sure many of you, if you haven't had that, you've had it touch your life in some way. It's a terrible thing to deal with. The scare of having the scare of it by itself is just awful. It's an awful feeling. But there was hey, you have tests, they come up, you have to have additional tests to find out. And in the meantime, these people, they never relented. In fact, they used it as a talking point. Not only that, I mean, some of Cook's statements alone were horrible. But all the people that we're talking about there, they got fully involved, fully invested in going after her for it. So it's really strange now to hear about how health disqualifies people from being sued. Health demands some kind of nicety. There's some kind of obligation to it if you have health problems. There's again, like I said before, they don't mind. Yet again, last night, like I said, talking about a 5 and 11-year-old. They brought it up on their show because they're creepers. You know, quit bringing up kids. It's creepy. It's very creepy. I'm like, man. And quit bringing up freaking, if Elemental P doesn't want you bringing up her kid, quit bringing her kid up too. Isn't that the thing that we kept hearing over and over again? How you've got to respect that, and you've got to respect that kid. We heard that over and over when people bring up concerns. While they build up websites with the kid's picture on it, which, again, who enriched themselves off of that? I wonder. Who utilized that for their own publicity? I wonder. So creepy, man. But here's old Ray Ray. So this is proof of service, you know. You have, again, this is document 95. This is from Fed Case 2. You have the service, the process server. They're noting, I'm not reading all of this because it just goes over defendants, case number, all of that. But you can see where, again, on the 27th, even though, again, this is filed now, because this ties into something else. All right. So this is going to tie into another document that came up today as well. But off of this, you can see the successful attempt on what day, redacted address. I redacted that myself there. It was received by Ray Ray himself. It goes over what he looked like and everything else. So on the same day, this goes into the docket, we have we have a letter. Now check this out. This is, you'll enjoy this. It's short, but it is sweet. Look at that. Now this is from Brucey Bruce, which, interestingly enough, who does Bruce represent in Fed Case 1 or 2 anymore? That would be a whole lot of nobody. So why the fuck is he writing Shock It in any way, shape, or form? He's out except as one of the litigants. So now, you know, he played the game of before, I'm a lawyer and I'm mad about stuff. Now, again, there's a reason everybody shouldn't be added to it. But he's writing Shock It. It's so bizarre, man. And he's telling them, you will withdraw, Ray, or else. This is a threat, very much. Subject matter. And you notice the names on the top, I took out the email addresses, but they had email addresses across the top. You can see that this was actually given to 2Ls, to Volmit, to Stupid Dave, and to Lips. Those were the recipients that were CC'd on this. So, again, it was not only brought up, but it was broadcast to all the fellow members out there. Subject, placing you on notice, R.E. Raymond Bonebreak. Mr. Shockett, Mr. Raymond Bonebreak is currently dealing with a family medical emergency that his wife suffered a broken hip. He is live streaming about whether she will live or die and how he is handling it. You should withdraw, underline withdraw, the claims against him so he is free of the harassment and can focus on his personal life. Mother, are you kidding me? He didn't want to focus on his personal life. In fact, he spent in that video you're talking about, it's a 14-minute video, he spent about 1/7 of it talking about Hales and other people. He spent about 1/7 of it talking about only me. Again, it wasn't about family and dealing with emergency. It still went after. I mean, when we heard that he was going to be served, what did he do? he decided to double and triple down. He decided to tell people that they should follow Hales around, not to plant the signs in the ground, of course, but to follow around with signs. Not like that time, which was interesting because it sounded like an admission that people actually made signs. But they should follow him around with signs saying what he's been doing to people that he's now abandoning, by the way. He told us no more. He's not going to help out with LP anymore. It's strange. The first sign of questioning 2L. Again, it tells you who this, it's all about their business, baby. Isn't that bizarre? The first time that she speaks up. Again, like I said, I have no dog in the fight. Lynette Preston, if you hear this, again, you've heard about me as the devil. So for me to take up for your action, like I said, you should look up who owns that money. That's yours. Look at the backgrounds of the people. Well, I'm sure you've heard about that before, but really look it up. Look at the people that are around there and say, do I trust my finances with these folks or not? Also, do I trust where all that money went? I mean, we've had talk about, again, $20,000 fence. What? $20,000 fence? Are you kidding me? There is definitely money that's, we all saw, all of us, you even have ecosystem chatters that are bringing up that they all saw the Amazon cards. They all saw the Lowe's cards. They saw the wish lists, what went on and what disappeared from that. They saw all of that stuff. So they know about, again, there were monetary donations that went in behind that. There's no accounting for any of it. And if you're one of those people, again, that is like, well, they've contacted people one-on-one. That doesn't mean anything. That means nothing. Give me a second. I can clear my throat. Man, I hate this time of year. I really do. Oh, give me 1 second. I really hate this season here. I wish I love Tennessee. I've been away. I've come back here. But I'm telling you, man, I hate this season. It is so awful. So, you are filing vexatious litigation to begin with, but to continue against Mr. Bonebreak, knowing of his circumstance, elevates the degree of misconduct you're committing. Okay, this is the threat. Apparently, we get a lot of threats, by the way. That Shara video we will get to sometime. We will, Shara. She's a little force to be reckoned with, too. Let me just say. And she's out there dropping down, but especially considering if you watch her last video, I really want people to watch it too. If you watched it, watch it again. It's something else. Shara Wolf, Shara Wolf on WOLF. You will find her channel if you have not been there. If you have been there, spend the time to watch that video that she put up because it has letter accompaniments and more. And in that, oh yeah, they're interesting because the threats just keep coming from certain somebody. What is the threat here? If you continue to force him to respond to this lawsuit, this notice will be an exhibit in court and in a bar complaint. Oh, you're going to bring it up in Fed too? You're going to note how you wrote counsel that they're not opposing counsel, but you stepped outside of your lawyer, Bruce, the guy who dropped out of Fed 1. Are you kidding me? Why don't you do that, Bruce? Why don't you have your lawyer put that in as as something? Because you can't sue a person that has things that are going on in their life. Why don't you note them? You know, it seems a go-to. You know, it's the same thing with Stark, isn't it? Stark has medical issues, so you can't sue. I'm not saying that, again, they don't have problems going on, but it didn't bother them before. None of these things mattered before. Now they face consequences. And yeah, you know what? I mean, these people never gave a crap, like I said, what a Hales or what anyone else has dealt with, what anyone else has been going through in their private lives. They don't care. It just now it matters when. Does it really matter to, or is it just a bludgeon to be thrown around? I mean, it's, like I said, it is so freaking weird. So also, I've got my hands on something else today. Would you like to read over a little bit of fun time for Lips with the ecosystem? She wants out of the lawsuit too. Would you like to look at that? Oh my goodness. Oh, what a day. Oh, what a day. Give me a second. I got to send it to myself. God, I need another drink. Give me 1 minute. You know how you get that tickle in the back of your throat? I have that going on right this minute. That's why I keep muting out for a second. But I got to send this over to me. God, I hate that feeling. All right, 1 second here. By the way, I had 2 people write me and say that they didn't think they were showing up in chat. If for some reason you think you're not showing up in chat, what you need to do is you need to send me over the URL for your YouTube site. What that means is, you know, when you when you sign into YouTube, you have a name, you know, you're at there. Well, at the top, like if you pull it up on your browser, you know, if you pull it up on, say, Google, it'll have an email not an email, but a URL, an internet address. It took me a minute, my brain, like I said, some days, but it'll have an internet address across the top. If you send me that one that points back to you, I can look at whether you're blocked immediately. See, unfortunately, the moderation tools on YouTube are very, let's say, antiquated. They're not very good in the fact that there's no alphabetical order. Sometimes they mess up your name when you see who is blocked and who is not. It makes it very hard to determine. If I look at your YouTube, like the About section, I have a button where I can follow and unfollow it, and it'll tell me if you've been muted or blocked. So if some of your messages don't go through, though, that does not mean you're not blocked. YouTube will hold messages. So if you feel like you're not being listened to and your messages aren't showing up, that could be part of it. I'm not sure, but I can at least eliminate that for you. So I've had 2 people write about that. And if that is the case, I will definitely fix it for you. You know, accidents do happen, you know. And to be honest, I think people do get blocked too. I mean, honestly, all kinds of things happen. And if something did happen where some people had a moment, I think that barring a few things, that most people, they deserve also a chance there. So you want to see a letter here. This is something else. Let's see, here it is. Got it. All right, now this is mine, baby, by the way. So apparently Libs has decided that she's going to continue to write Jeremy Hales. You know, apparently there was an email sent. I'm sure that I saw something about this. I wanted to hear about it because I was asking about what was happening with Lips here, because she's ghosted everything. I mean, again, she ghosted her YouTube site. There's plenty, like I say, she wants to take her chance in court. Awesome. You know, she doesn't think it's going to cost money. Oh, it will. You went up against a lot of people, and it's a loser of a case. Even the people around you tell you it is a loser of a case. You have no case whatsoever. And now she wants out of it. after going in there and again and again and again, going after Hales and anyone else, she doesn't want to be part of it anymore. You know, I don't blame her either, because they're turning on each other like I said, they're like little Pac-Man. They're gobbling each other up. They're gobbling up each other, but it's becoming territorial. You know, don't cross my line. Because again, the resources are drying up a bit. When they dry up, well, I mean, you can see how that will go. So I'm sure it is not a fun environment to be part of, is what I mean. You know, people going knives out at you that's not fun in any way, shape, or form. So, I mean, like I said, I can 100% see that. But having said that, the people that are part of it, I mean, they voluntarily got involved. Not only that, but they when they inserted, they threatened litigation and more. I mean, it's craziness. It is absolute craziness to see. So, can't chat in Rumble. Rumble's set up differently, Pink Rose. So I'm not sure. With Rumble, you have to set up an account and everything else. That way you can chat over there. I listen on Rumble. I have an account set up. Sometimes I'll go in. Usually, if I'm going to back a channel or something, I really don't back through the Rumble thing. I'll back like through, if there's a PayPal or something like that. But I listen. I chat sometimes. But Rumble needs to make their platform more user friendly. I agree. It makes it difficult to do a lot of stuff over there. It should be just like YouTube. It should be user friendly. You know, they still haven't gotten that user friendly model going on. But hello, Jeremy, huh? So, Hubby Esquire is not allowed to respond directly to you when you have an attorney. I'm guessing there was a question about what the heck's going on. It's a legitimate question too. I mean, it is. I mean, this person, again, they decided, they're admitting that because they got butthurt over a couple of things, they filed what is a garbage lawsuit. You know how much of a garbage lawsuit it is? There's actually a packet of case letters and more, and it notes in a letter sent to Lips that she is retiring in lieu of discipline. It notes that 100%. It is clear as day. So to say that, you know, you didn't try to get around discipline. That's going to be if you don't talk about my status, then. No, lady, you should have dropped everything because it's a garbage lawsuit. But I mean, again, you think, see, most of these people think like a normal person out there, they can bleed them. You know, they can take advantage of a situation and they can bleed them financially. Not in this case. You know, I said, I 100%, if I'm forced into it, I've not brought litigation against anyone, but you force me into litigation, I will crowdfund it and I will make sure to bleed you financially. I will bleed your time. I will make sure that I talk about every damn thing that I've ever dug up on the people that are part of that. And more, it makes it's all fair game there because you brought litigation. You're the one who brought it. Nobody was even talking about this person until they decided to sue. That's when it came up. You know, once they threw litigation at Jay, that to me was that was a problem. You know? Then they wanted to remove people, but they wanted to hang the specter of litigation over the rest of us. They wanted to be like, you know, I removed you because we apparently had a communication that didn't happen, but I could bring it for 2 years if I want to. Now, screw that. Again, I'm not afraid. You know, not afraid at all. But remember how we got here. It wasn't anybody else that brought this. This was her. She decided that she wanted it until she didn't want it. But listen to this. So, however, I viewed your email and will respond as a non-attorney. Actually, you're not a non-attorney. You know, you're responding as a person that brought litigation. And you're responding outside of your lawyer. You should actually have your lawyer who, weirdly enough, why isn't he responding? Why can't he respond, but she's going to respond? That's very strange. Won't we ever get any response from him? You know, that is very strange. I mean, isn't it? I wonder. Maybe Randy needs to reach out and be like, what the fuck is going on here? I'll respond since your attorney can't respond to Mr. Hales. Maybe I'll respond. Then you can respond to him. All the YouTube channels have been deleted. All of them. They are all gone. By the way, I hope they all realize that. They are all gone now. They did this before, though. They ghosted everything just to bring it back. And remember, this person, as she spins this fairy tale fantasy that we are going to read here, they don't tell you about hodunk and all that bullshit. They lied about the time. Lied, like, flagrantly. Again, you know, that didn't happen in the middle of a month. It happened before the 9th. We have receipts that show that. We have internet archives that show the timeline. So the stuff you filed in court, it's a bunch of garbage. And it's poorly written garbage. Yeah, exactly. Just Jay, you know, noted here. You know, Just Jay said, she brought this against Jeremy and I initially. I will never let this go. Not only that, let me speak real for just a second, okay? Just Jay took a lot of shit because he tried. He's new to the internet. You guys need to understand this, okay? When you're new to the internet, you're not as people like to call it black pilled. You know, they're like, Tug, you know, you're doom pilled, you're black pilled, because I don't trust people at all because I've been doing this for years, you know, but when you start out, you have hope that people are decent. that you want to look out for them. You buy into some of the stuff they say sometimes. You worry that you know they might do something drastic because they seem unhinged. And Jay put himself out there, man, and he got a lot of blowback for it because she screwed him over. You know, he communicated, and what he tried to do was to make sure that, you know, again, outside of all the crazy and the chaos, he tried to make sure that a human being over there, that they would be okay. Because again, you know, they sold a bill of goods to somebody that's new at it. And again, that they have on there. I love it. I love the people that that still have hope for other human beings. You know, Megan's like that. You know, despite being in here and dealing with all this crazy for the longest time, Megan's a person that's like, you know, there may be some good underneath them. I'm like, there's never any good under them, you know? In fact, I hate to say it this way, but I have a rule. I call it the rule of 5. And you want to talk about something that never fails, by the way. I do not deal with over 5 group people or grouped up people. You can count a group as a person, typically, with that are involved in any scenario, whether that's this or Hales. I'm not talking about you folks. I'm talking about people with microphones. You know why? Because sooner or later, some people will do something crazy to you. So I deal with a handful of people, and that is it. Rule of 5, man. No more than 5 people, because I've found everything I've ever been involved in, even people you trust, one of them goes crazy. So I never let any of that come up or out, though. We'll run a business. But still, it's always there. Now, in this, it's not. I'm not saying it has anything in this, but that's my mindset after being here in years and years. And it's a sad way to have to deal with people. But Jay is brand new. Jay tried to do something decent, and he ate a lot of crap for it. He did. And I'm glad that, you know, And to put that behind him, like I said. But try to do something decent, man. And this person, they screwed him over. So yeah, Jay, you should never let it go. They tried to do you harm, 100%. And for being nice, for being a nice person. That's such a horrible thing, man. But yeah, give the old pair say, that's outside again. There's a lot of jokes and goofing off with Jay and sarcasm and everybody, but ultimately underneath it all, these folks are decent human beings, and people will manipulate that, and it's quite sad. But yeah, they came after them initially. That's what made me mad, because I was like, to hell with that. Again, Jeremy could handle it himself. But what made me mad was them trying to step in. You know what made me mad about it? I've been in the place where Jay is. The first time someone came after me, I believe it was around 7. I keep thinking it was under 10,000 subs, but I think it was around 7,000 to 8,000 subs. It was actually somebody in the, I'm going to call them alternate media. They got mad because they wrote a hate article about me, talking about how it was trash and all this other stuff. So I pulled their article up and I made fun of them. What did they do? They copyright struck my channel, which that was before my MCN, and they threatened me with litigation. They sent me all kinds of crazy letters and shit, and I made fun of them still. So that was the same ride there, and I did it on my own. That was the one thing I did not. I'm talking about with the microphone, folks. I'm not talking about with people out there. Like, you folks have always ridden with me, and I appreciate it. Some of you have been here forever. So when I say on my own, I'm talking about microphone folks. But I remember what that was like. So when they brought it against Jay, I had a real problem with that. People using lawfare to intimidate small channels. That makes me mad. That's why. That's why I was like, hell no. That's why I got involved with that. But all YouTube channels have been deleted. I want nothing to do with anything that is going on. Well, that took a long time. You wanted something to do with it for the longest time. It was weird how, by the way, I wonder if that all stems from Bruce treating you like absolute trash on a live stream. And these other people too. They're not nice to one another. They complain about people like myself and people like Megan, people like Hales. But ultimately, they are not very nice to one another either. They come knives out at each other and quickly. I never made money from any social media, YouTube, etc. I was wrongfully attached after Volman requested me to do an interview when I had no audience and was told it was merely because I was a retired attorney. Yeah, I like that, by the way. Volman, thrown under the bus, baby. I was wrongfully attached. How were you wrongfully attached? You inserted yourself into something. You said that you were doing research. You leave out, like I said, right away. You have Bully Exterminators, the website goes online. Right from go, it goes online. Then, well over a week before you say things went a certain way, you have the YouTube channel kicking out videos. Now, Talonville had hosting. Even really, it seems like before that. I would have to check my dates on that. But Talonville had them hosted. They had a few of them. That's how we found out you made them for sure. We already kind of knew that. But you saying that you were just wrongfully attached is a bunch of garbage there. But I was forced to endure horrible cyberbullying directly after that interview. You joined in to a mob of people. You put out legal press releases asking people to contact you. You wanted attention until you got it. Even then, you didn't get attention from myself. You didn't get name listing or anything. You didn't get it from Megan. You didn't get it from really anybody until you sued. You decided because people on Facebook, random ass people on Facebook brought you up. See, apparently you can join in and you can do anything you want, but nobody can respond to you. If they respond to you, that's cyberbullying. To me, that is trash, you know? That is absolute insanity, you know? 1 second. All right. Man, my internet today is awful. I had to check something. All right. I was making sure the internet was being weird for a second. I was making sure it wasn't going to gap out on me. Yeah, Lips knows she has a losing case against Jeremy Hale and wants out. Yeah, Jeremy doesn't want out. That's the thing. He does not want out. And the stuff, I mean, I have never gathered so much information about a person that disproves everything that they put in litigation. I've never seen the amount of just proof that goes against everything she said. I mean, she not only had the the timeline that is garbage, but she went after, she wanted people to roast her. She included the response by DJ Radis to a roast me. She asked for it and then included it as cyberbullying. Things like that. You can't instigate a response and then call it bullying. You just can't do that. And she went out for hours and hours. She wanted to put on all these shows with these people. Oh, man. You know another problem she's having? Paint chips there. I mean, some of the stuff he's doing is just insane. He's talking about on these shared things with the ecosystem. He's talking about and someone's head off, a certain hale's head off, and some pretty awful stuff with it. And they know that that's a problem. That could cause you some real issues. On top of the losing case. So they went out. I attempted to be neutral by reaching out to Megan Fox to interview her, but I didn't get a response. Nobody owes you shit, lady. I get people that reach out all the time too. And you know, unfortunately, it goes to my distrust. It's not about a small channel. This is what people need to understand. Like, you have enough people that pull this garbage with you. Like imagine if Megan went on this channel. Imagine if she went on there good faith and she interviewed with this person. What do you think would happen? It would have been utilized as a bludgeon. They would have misquoted. They would have done all kinds of horrific shit. And already, Megan made it quite clear that she did not want anything to do with old vomit. Oh, Darth Touch was not invited to the party. So she'd made that quite clear. You don't want anything to do with that or anything that he's attached to. And what does she get for it? She gets harassed into, you better come on or else, you know? Or else I can't get the other side. I can't do my own research. But I was defamed about my professional retirement status. Regardless, all I ever wanted was it to stop. No, you kept going on these shows. Again, you hosted shows with all these clowns. You bragged about how you were suing us all. You bragged about it. You bragged about how you were going knives out for us. And you thought we'd counter it. It's because you've done this in the past. You even admitted that you file garbage lawsuits because you don't think people will follow up with them. And then after you do, I mean, it's an attempt to silence people. And you defame them. You do all kinds of crazy shit. You make these crazy videos. We found videos where you pulled the same stuff that you did with Hodunk Hillbillies. You pulled it on people that were attached to you. In all different manners, even family members. So to pretend all I wanted, no. It's worked for you in the past. It just doesn't work in this freaking forum here. In YouTube, it doesn't work. In YouTube, you will get monetized for trying to be an asshole like that. That's what people like Paint Chips learn. You know, they may be able to bully and defame and deride people in a normal walk of life, but man, if people don't give a shit, then they start whining that you monetize them. It's funny. It is so funny. But regardless, I'm not here seeking revenge nor profit. I'm willing to drop the lawsuit if everyone will please stop misrepresenting my retirement status. Again, there is a letter. Do I need to pull it up here? You know full well this exists. I could pull it up for you if you'd like. I could pull up all the files for you if you'd really like that. But lips, it says that you retired in lieu of discipline. 100%. That's what you were choosing. And you said it yourself too. So for you to then say I just retired like it was nothing, like it was no big deal, like that's a lie. It's a flagrant one. And it won't hold up with litigation. Again, even these people that are surrounding her, I guess I've heard them tell her, these are yes men that are brought into this stuff to go after Hales. And even they're like, yeah, you don't want to do this. You don't want to, because it's going to be a loser of a case. It's garbage. Because they know they'll end up giving Hales not only a win, but he's going to walk away with fees and everything else. Any money you make him spend, he's going to get you for. I did the same thing. Like I said, I definitely, if I want to be dragged into some vexatious bullshit, you put my name in. You want to put my real name in like you think you're going to intimidate me, by the way. That's what I always love about these clowns. They think that's intimidation to me. You know what that is? It's motivation. There's no way to intimidate people. I warn them. I make it personal, man. Make it personal, and I will turn over every scrap of paper in your life. I will find out every fucking thing about you. It won't be rumors online. I will tear through your life like a tornado, and I'll pull out all the dark secrets. And they think it's a game until they don't like it anymore. So funny. But they're like, oh, it's my retirement status. I'm not about money. Never was. I came from money and walked away from it with my own family. I reached out to you previously, trying to help you remember roots in God you came from. That's creepy, man. That's crazy, you know? It is. Just Ahab, yeah. He said, funny, I spent 90 minutes running through Hodunks, and a few hours later it's gone. That does not make me stop. Indeed. That's why I archived. You know what? I stopped archiving a bunch of her stuff. You know why? Because I'm talking about over 100 videos of proof of just insanity. And honestly, I believe that it questioned the mental health of a person. They talk about how they're ADA protected. Apparently, they do not understand the ADA at all. I do not provide services for you, nor am I an employer, so I am not covered by any of that stuff. You know, I'm not your boss. If I was, you would not be employed. I would just say that because, yeah. But I wonder, is this caused because they're bumping, they're kind of bumping elbows with Bruce? I'll tell you what, Lips, if you want to deal, I will totally never talk about you again if you send me everything that Bruce and the rest of the ecosystem has sent you. I will never talk about you again. You have to send over something good, though. It'd have to be all of it. You give me everything, and I will totally bow out. How's that? You give me enough that's worth my while. You give me your weight and documentation. Because I know they're communicating with you. I can tell. I can tell. How do I know that? Well, it's the familiarity with the way that you address Bruce, for example. You don't call him Bruce Manskin. You call him Bruce. You talk about him just as Bruce, not Bruce the lawyer, not Bruce last name, but just Bruce. You also, I mean, these other people too, you say that they did you wrong, they brought you in, fine. Send over every single communication. I'll know if you leave stuff out too. Send over the stuff where 2L and all of them did. I'll totally bow out. I'll never talk about it again. No, well, totally not, because it'll give me something bigger. You feed me one of them, or actually feed me all of them. And I myself, I will totally be content with that, because you are not a major player in my book. The thing that, like I said, the thing that made me irritated is that you want to sue. I'll never leave that alone. You put up an apology because you filed vexatious litigation against me. You note that it's vexatious. I won't sue you back. I've never sued anybody for any of that stuff. You put out a formalized apology for it. And you send me over what I want. I don't think you'll do it. But if you do, those are my terms. Those are my conditions. And again, I'm not talking one email. I can't speak for anyone else, but those are my conditions. Tug sounds hungry. Oh, I love the chaos. I love it. I don't deny it. They're like, oh my God, Tug loves drama. Fuck yes, I love drama. And I have teeth, my friend. I have teeth, sharp teeth. I'm not here because I have to be. I mean, like I said, I think I could attach to anything. You know, I could cover anything, but I cover things that I think are important. But do I love the chaos and the crazy and the drama? Yes, I do. I add to it. I'm a monster. Did they not read my? They talk about all the rumors and bullshit online, but they never read about how I'm a monster. If all those things are true about me, why do you pick me to fuck with? I'm the wrong person. But yeah. Oh yeah, I love it. I love it. I also want proof of all the conspiracy out there. There's already plenty of it, but these people hold keys. Like I said, what are they going to do to you? Just block them out. I mean, 2L, what are they going to do? They probably, you send over all communications. I mean, if you've talked a lot of shit behind things or whatever, like I said, I don't care. I want them. You know, I want them. And I'm sure they won't do it, because God knows what they've said behind the scenes. We've seen some of the stuff that leaks out from behind the scenes. And these people, holy Lord. But I would more than willing cut that. I can't speak for anyone else in it either, but you know what? I would even talk to the other litigants in it. I can't speak for any of them, but I would talk to them. You serve enough juicy, juicy steaks, not tiny morsels, not dog food, real steaks. I would even talk to them about being like, we don't need that anymore. Small fry, small fish, throw it back. You know, prove the conspiracy. Again, I believe that there's plenty to prove it, but I want more. I want more. I want all their communications. And I know with when they brought her in, you know that they were communicating with her. You know, absolutely. By the way, Libs, you brought a lawsuit against me without ever giving me a cease and desist or anything. You never properly followed Florida law. You sent something to Megan, but you never communicated with me in any way, shape, or form. That right there is a failure of a lawsuit. You failed right from go. And you know that. In order to push that, you guys, you know how you know that? Because you talked about it on some other people being served. You said, well, they were served wrong in this because blah blah blah. Well, you know what? You didn't do that to me. You've never tried to communicate with me. So I'm sorry about your luck there. Again, you said, oh, you communicated with me. I'm not Megan Fox. But you never communicated with me in any way, shape, or form. So your lawsuit's a loser from there anyway. I mean, right from go procedurally. I don't even know if I'd want out for that. Again, they figure they can bleed you because people, they'll file garbage over and over again that you need to respond to. That's how the financial, you saw it in Fed 1. And they bleed people financially. That's what lawfare is. But if people are big enough to take care of themselves, they can deal with it. Anyway, let's continue. Sorry. So I reached out to you previously about God. There is nothing more for me to say. I do not hate you, nor wish harm on you. What, are you kidding me? I watched some of those lawsuits. I don't know, some of those live streams lawsuits. I watched some of those live streams about lawsuit, rather. Some of the things you threw out there, you're trying to strategize. By the way, you were giving them legal advice, and you know you're not supposed to. You were telling them about strategy live, recorded for the public live. By the way, I am curious about something. I also would like clarity on one other thing too. So Lips, again, she changed her message. I mentioned this before, but I'm curious. I feel like something happened, and I would like to know what happened. They have a actually. Let me. You want me to pull this up for you? I'll pull it up for you. I'll have to redact something, but I want to show you the automatic email chain. You know, the automated stuff. Somebody pulled this up and sent it. And I'll show you the difference. Because like I said, I feel like something else happened. I'm missing a piece of what happened here. And it's not, I just got tired of the game. It's something else. I got to show you this too. One second, I'm sending it over and I got to make sure there's an email address in it I need to redact real quick. After that, it's worth it. Trust me, you know. 1 second here. Yeah, I've had a couple of people. By the way, on that ban thing, I've had a couple of people write. Like I said, if you feel like you've been banned, you know, shadow ban, you know, if you're banned though, you can't comment. So if you feel like, you know, if you're commenting in the chat period, you are not banned on the channel. Just a note, okay? So that's not the case now. All right. Yeah, there are two. There's an email address. 1 second, okay. I gotta. Like I said, this is worth it. All right. I'm just. I want to bring it up. I mentioned this a couple of times, but I want to bring it up because I think it's interesting. It's interesting the way that it was put together. And it's interesting that she went this approach. It tells me, like I said, something happened, something else. And she has decided that this is not worth their time. You know, I feel like it became too costly. Maybe somebody complained. So check this out. I want to show you, and then I'll continue that. All right. So they have an automatic, you know, when you go to a website and it has an auto reply function, you know, you're written by the website. Well, this has an auto reply. So the auto reply before, you know, you can see where the person put that up there, and I liked it. I like that they were messing with, you know, they're like, I'm all these people. I love it. Thank you for sending this too. This is great. But this was the automatic reply. Attention, new policy. Due to the voluminous amounts of text, this is the old one right here, received from new client legal inquiries. We have implemented a new policy. If you're a current client of civil estate law, PA, or in need of consultation to discuss your legal issue, reach out to their God, my brain, to their website. Man, that took me a minute. That's sinus is what all that is. My head's clogged over today. To book an appointment to speak with us. We will not be using text message anymore to schedule or answer questions. If your issue requires prompt petition and time slot is not available, please email with the subject urgent, and I'll do that. Well, then it gets changed out. And it changes too. Please contact the husband. Leslie is no longer assisting in cases. Thank you. Wait. Leslie's no longer assisting in cases. I feel like something happened that is well beyond the I just want to drop out because of nothing. You know? I mean, that right there. That says that, again, something happened. Something we don't really know about. But why would you suddenly say, you know what? I actually don't help with those cases. You know, I was wrong to bring that up, blah, blah, blah. It's so amazing. Thank you. Isn't that fun? So anyway, back to the email. God, I love these things. Like I said, this has so many twists and turns and crazy. You notice something too. Jeremy Hales is definitely in the driver's seat of this right here. You know, they thought they could come in and they could just hit him and act crazy now. She says, I'm the same age as you with many similarities. We both have adult children who rejected us. Hey, you bring up his kids again. What the fuck, dude? What the fuck, man? Why'd you bring up the man's kids? It's interesting, though. You brought up your own kid. Again, I do not believe I'm nice about this. Typically, I have to say, though, I do sometimes think about retaliating for bringing up kids. And if I retaliate, it won't be fun because I'll dig through everything. I mean, just everything, every piece of minutia, every person attached to you, everything. If you want to mess with that. But it's weird that you have kids that you throw into the fray. Jeremy never threw his kid in. You just did. You used it as kind of a bargaining chip, which is so bizarre. I found things about, we could talk about bakers, right? See, I've been nice. I haven't ever talked about the bakers stuff. I never talked about the litigation with the process server. I never read it. The allegations contained there, and I've been pretty nice about it. But that nicety, it's worn thin. So, again, I set my terms now. We're both parents who reject us. We're both born the same year, 77. Please do not respond to me with hate. I do not hate you or wish to harm you. Life is truly hard. None of us are perfect. I apologize for ever judging you. I was wrong for that. You didn't judge. You filed litigation, lady. Like, he's not the one. The whole thing that we're going to see about dropping lawsuit, like we saw there, like where she's wanting to drop, he didn't bring that lawsuit. That's the whole thing. He was just like, okay, game on. Like, this is where it twists up. It's the same thing that we saw pulled in Fed 1. They tried to pretend the thumbnail litigation is a creation of Jeremy Hales. In order to make this, he's vexatious, I'm just this poor innocent person who never does anything at all. They have to pretend that stuff was brought by him, and it wasn't, you know? But I'm here if you ever want a true friend. True friend, my ass. Lady, I would never deal with you. I would never deal with you. I wouldn't. Like I said, I'm a person of my word. Though, you want to make that deal we talked about. I am. You can look it up. You don't have people. If I was a person that burned people, well, I've had some high profile sources, you know, that have come out and confirmed they were my source. If I were just a clout seeker, I would have burned them years ago, you know, and been like, look at me, clout. But no, it's just trying to figure out things. So if you want, send it over. I will go through it, but I will not renege on my deal. But because I believe we are all connected through God. Bringing up God, by the way, you know, attaching through it's gross. The stuff that you claim that this man was like Charles Manson. You had him as Satan in your God story, by the way. Isn't that interesting as well? He played the role of Satan for them, you know, in their tales. And yet, We all came from the same place, and we will die the same. None of what we have monetarily is coming with us. God bless you. Seriously, I wrote you something nice, and from my heart about you being God's child. No, I read what you wrote, lady. It was crazy, is what it was. It was judgmental. It was all about you. There was like I statements. There were around, what, 60? I can't remember the exact total, but around a 60 or maybe more. But it was so bizarre to read. But please know it was sincere. Goodbye, because I tend to vanish at times like this. And just know I'm upset with many involved in this, even some who you were against. That's the line there. Like I said, if you're so upset with these people, if you feel betrayed, see, I think something happened there, including, I think we saw some of that boil over alive. You remember when when Bruce lost his mind over only me and all of that, when all of that spilled over live, we saw her getting basically anytime she was like, "Hey, I'm doing," and the one thing I will give her on that, she was actually looking through the cases, and she was told, shut up and get to the back of the bus. Shut up, lady. We've already talked about this stuff. You're covering old ground. When you weren't covering old ground, you were talking about Fed 2, current event, but you were told research doesn't matter. You're putting in time looking at that. Again, I 100% disagree with your conclusions on stuff, but at least you were trying to look through some things, and they treated you like absolute trash. They told you that your opinion doesn't matter because you weren't respected. I think you woke up to that idea. And I can only imagine how bad that is. If it spills out live, I can only imagine how that comes up behind the scenes. But it is funny, I'm upset with many involved, even some who you are against. Huh. I wonder which ones that is, by the way. I just think it's interesting. Like I said, she just 100% tossed Volpe under the bus. It was like, he's the problem, not me. He made me do it. I hope they enjoy that, by the way. And that, they are scumbags of the highest order, for sure. But still, she needs to take credit for what she did. Just because they're scumbags doesn't mean anything with it. There is a document. Man, we've already been on for a while. I don't know. Let me see. There's a non-page document. It's actually pretty good too. Let me. I don't know if I want to read non-pages tonight. I said it's good. What's about is it's about. I definitely want to cover it. That's not what I'm saying. I don't know. Like, that is a lot of document to cover tonight. Well, it has. I'll show you what it is. Actually, give me 1 second. Give me 1 minute here. So the document I'm talking about again would be 96. 96 in Fed 2. Fed 2 it's been interesting. This, by the way, is it's talking about how Kesey and Stupid Dave, how they won out in a certain amount of time, and it's saying this should not happen because. Now, attached to this is a document talking about Stupid Dave and about attempts to serve him, and essentially how there is no answer on the doors. There are 4 attempts to serve. There's an affidavit on that. Give me 1 minute. Making sure I do not want an address on there. I try to be nice about the address thing. These people are not, they don't return it. Like I said, they're all okay with, remember everything they're okay with, you know? But you have all of the attempts and no answers. So you have 4 no answer attempts. I redacted, like I said, the address off of that. But that is part of 96. That is 96-2. But there were 4 attempts for service. All these people, by the way, they said they wanted to be involved in litigation. I mean, so many of them were like, yo, I want it, bring it. I want to be on the stand. I'm going to put Jeremy Hales in his place. And then when they start getting served, you notice none of them want to go to the stage where they actually can get on the stand. If they, that's the amazing thing to me is they talk such a big game. They didn't want out of a lawsuit. They said they wanted in. They wanted it to get to the stage where they could take the stand and they would put him in his place and they'd tell the world, right? The only problem with that is every one of them is trying to bounce early. Every single one of them. In fact, they even have, you know a weird thing that kind of proves conspiracy too? You know, you have all of these people saying that they have nothing whatsoever to do with Ray. He had nothing to do with this case. He's never had anything to do with it whatsoever. And then all of them start writing the court in unison to tell the court that. Then you have Bruce, who knows about Ray's personal medical things going on in life, you know, with someone attached to him. He makes threats on that case. That sounds really weird. Like he might be involved. Like he, you know, like the thing that they said was there. It's not. What's really sad too, Ray, is you should be enjoying your money. You should be sitting around and you should be dealing with private life. Again, all these people say, I don't make any money. Then why the fuck are you doing it? That's a real thing. Like me, I run a for-profit channel. I pick things that matter, but it's also my job. You know? If I dedicate myself to it, I very much dedicate myself to it. Everyone knows my MO on that. But for them, why are they involved? They can talk about the buzzwords and stuff. See, Lynette Preston no longer works as an excuse for them to play, because the first sign of her saying something about these people, something that could be remotely negative. And like I said, Ray was like, I'm not helping you anymore. Like it was essentially a screw you, lady, because of something that was brought up that if it's none of my business, how the fuck is it Ray's business, by the way? They always say, the money thing is none of your business. Well, how the fuck is it Ray's business then? By the way, isn't that him inserting himself into some chaos that he's not supposed to be in? You know, essentially what they tell you is it's only the conspirators' his business. Oh, that's weird. And that's a weird admission. Okay. Again, I'll be fair. I don't wish sickness for relations or anything on anyone. It's a rough time. It sucks. I don't know that person. Maybe I'm an asshole in thinking this, but I don't feel any sympathy or empathy for the person that talked about my kids over and over again. You know, I don't. I don't think family members should come in, but like I said, this guy didn't mind. He didn't mind it when Megan Fox's freaking family got a bullseye on them. That was okay. It was funny. It was totally funny. The revenge prawn. It was funny. It was good times, man. It was all fun. The George stuff. Again, it was all fun and games. All of them were like that. And the worst part is they pull up a soapbox and they moralize, they grandstand, they sermonize, they preach to you, they tell you about their faith, and their faith is supposedly one where it would not allow you to treat other people like that. It's supposed to be decency, humility. was none of those things. In fact, when we found out, when Ray got served, where we found that out? We found it out on a live stream where Ray was involved with vomit and paint chips, where they were trying to report him to the ADL. They were going over, and he was laughing about it. He thought it was fun. That was a good time. I saw it. That's where I actually was watching the clip. I would never have seen it. Like I said, that's why his name sat out there so long, because nobody watches these people really. Now they are a gold mine too, all of them, I guess. They're just boring, man. The worst sin is to be boring. If we're going to talk about sinning, that is the YouTube sin. You can be many things, but being boring is not good. Even they're crazies, but that's the problem with lips. Lips got boring, Same thing on repeat patterns and test tones, That's all it was. The same crazy BS on repeat. I think we'll go over the document. It won't be tomorrow though. Man, we still have, I forget, the whole weekend. Because tomorrow, like I say, I want to have on Jay. I want to talk about the lip situation. It'll probably be funny. It'll be fun. It'll be a time to goof off. But at the same time, it's also it's talking to another litigant in that. I've never talked to Jay on a live stream. Never talked to Starkasm on a live stream. Or I wonder, Rosalind, are you coming on? I'm not sure who all is coming on with it. All the people that are behind the fun times there. Like I said, they're all welcome. It's like bringing on their crew. But I think that's an important one to really discuss there. I may, I'm thinking about maybe I'm not sure when, but it'll be, it depends. I hate to say like a specific date. The reason I do that, I was going to say next week, but I was like, I don't even know what'll happen next week. So soon enough though, I thought about talking to the Temu crew too, just to get their feedback for a bit. I thought that might be fun, see exactly what they have to say as well. Like I said, they've been doing a bang up job. They've been getting their stuff ordered. It's not easy getting on the mic and doing it all the time. Like people find that out. It's fun, but a little bit more goes into it than just picking up your mic and going forward. And the people that show progress, props to them. So I thought about them. That's a lot of guests for me. I've had more guests this year, and co-hosting. I enjoy the Megan Fox co-hosting. It's a lot of fun. Let me pull up Super Chats. I think I'll go over that document this weekend, though. Where, give me a second here. It's so funny. My youngest just got back from church. She came in. she was cashed out. She was like, oh, boom, went back to bed. My mom brought her in, and she was like, she went straight to bed, went to sleep. Thought that was funny. All right, so Cheryl, first of all, sent 5 there. 5 for the Tuggernator. Get them, indeed. They deserve people to again call out their insanity. I still can't get over it. What do y'all think about them? They said point blank that if Lynette Preston voices again one more time, she says anything at all about 2L, that they're going to abandon ship or they're going to throw her overboard. All that money, all of that stuff they did and they raised, all of these people that they drug into this madness, and they're going to abandon the very person. Tens of thousands. Again, we could be talking about $100,000. We don't know, but it ain't $56,000 because that's one person. all that money, and they're abandoning the person. They're throwing her to the wolves. So does that not register with some of these folks out there? You were lied to. You were given a false bill of goods then. You were either Preston is all these things they said, or you were given a false bill of goods. Even if they decide to make peace, they get her in line. I don't think it'll really be peace. I think they'll try to get her in line. I think that's probably what's going on right now. That would be my guess. They're trying to pull her back in and, get her to toe that line. Because it does mess with the money. They'll be able to grift off of her for a couple of weeks. But long term, they won't be able to. Long term, they have sabotaged their money coming in. In fact, any idiot that would be willing to give money after what has happened now, man, you deserve to lose. You might as well take it out in the yard and run it over with a lawnmower or something. Because, again, if this person is so bad and everything else, then maybe you've been lied to about things. Maybe there's a spin. And also, the implication, there were implied threats the other day too, that, they know where they could say a lot more. They know a lot more. Again, that's the leverage, because they've had plenty of communications with Preston. And they threatened her with those. They were threatening her into silence. And these people don't have a problem with it. It blows my mind. Like I said, I would be bothered by the false bill of goods. Because it isn't just they covered a case or something, and then suddenly they found out, no. What happened is the person said something about them and about the money not going to them. Then it became a problem. Only then. And they keep saying that Lynette Preston is listening to the wrong people. Like I said, I have no reason to be nice to her. I don't think that she is a decent, good person. I don't. At the middle of all of it, I think the background and everything speaks for itself. Having said that, I have no reason to say, yeah, that's your money, lady. And you better get it before it's gone. All these people, it ain't my money. I don't give a shit. I do care that I think a lot of people were defrauded. I talked about this months ago. These people too, they keep complaining about how they thought that they were giving money for something and they feel lied to. I've been telling you that for months. Months you were sold a false bill. A false bill of goods. The lawyer thing should piss you off. They've all tried to distance themselves from that. They're still trying to do that. They're trying to pretend the bankruptcy thing, that somehow it's been a push the blame away. The people who told them to give money, that they didn't know that was what was going to happen. The way they're approaching it, that tells you it was a bad thing, because they lied to you. They told you it was for a federal lawyer, and it wasn't. Anybody who would continue to give money have to be unhinged. Surely. All right, give me a second here. Let's get some super chats here. All right, Shield Maiden, thanks for the 5. Here in Scotland, I'm now 65. In Tennessee, I'm only 64. Happy birthday to me. Time zone, baby. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, let's bust you out some happy birthday. You deserve it, Shield Maiden. I appreciate you. Here we go. Let's bust it.
Happy birthday from both of us to you. Happy birthday. May all your dreams come true. Happy birthday. We love to have you here. Happy birthday. Here's to another year.
that's fun times. I love it. Happy birthday to you too. Much appreciation for you. I hope you have a great one. Hope you have big plans for today, or if your big plans are sitting around and enjoying yourself. Sometimes you just got to make time for yourself. If that's sitting around, heck, I don't know, watch TV, play app games, whatever. I hope you have a great time with it. And love to you, like I said. Or watching streams, whatever. Fallen Hero, dropped a $3 super sticker. What's up, Fallen Hero? Appreciate you, my friend. Like I said all the time, and I mean that, buddy. I appreciate you. Your mind is burned into me. Appreciate it. Hey, Bunsen, are you talking about the comic book covers that are on the beginning of the like the intro? Is that what you mean with those? Those comic book covers, by the way, those were things that a few different people made. But, with that under my umbrella, they're different like jokes about cases for the whole thing. I wanted to make a comic book. At first, I only had one kid. So I wanted to make a comic book with her. I thought it'd be great. Like it was going to be something that would stand, long after I'm gone. She could look back and be like, man, that's a lot of fun. So, we did a case of the littlest umbrella, but they're essentially, for anyone else, it's all ages. So whomever can get in, into it, but it's an all ages detective, detective and sidekick, they go out and do things. So those comic book covers are funny. Like if you look at the one, it looks like something's crawling out of a hole, like a giant Cthulhu-esque monster. You'll notice that the side of the hole says y'all. Because that is the word we dare not speak. They have the attacks, with the with the lady with her rocket launcher, like shooting cats at us. Like, no, lady. That's a specific lady, by the way. She was wild. She was very wild. She threatened to. She threatened to like throw her cat on me or something. I can't remember. It was very weird, but that's where that one came from. And then there was the other one, that was a mockery of everything that was going on with the Vic Mignogna mess. Some of that Dead Punk's in there. Dead Punk's been around for a long time because I appreciate him. Good people. Some of that was from S.K. Bennett, artist on the last two comic book releases. Fun times. I do like those. They crack me up. Agent Z, Men in Black. Thanks for the 3 months. Didn't they remove Lip's stuff from the hubby's official signature block? She can't access his stuff anymore. Well, the weird thing, though, is, again, she made statements publicly saying that she is involved in cases, that the clients love her. I mean, her statements, they didn't sound like, hey, I'm doing paralegal work or something. It sounds like much more than that. And I wonder if that's caused a little bit of issue, It's funny, one second here. Oh my God. What a nut. I've gotta email somebody after this. Give me 1 second, folks. There's something weird here. Just give me 1 minute. It's nothing bad. It's actually 1 minute. Give me a second. I'm right. I've got to respond to someone. Messages just came through. One minute. I know there's dead silence. I'm sorry. Okay. just had to respond to something. Somebody sent me something. I was like, oh, fun times. Fun times. But agency, man, I don't know what all the, I don't know what happened. Again, there's something missing. Some other stuff went on too. You know, there's some personalized court things. Again, I've been very nice about talking about things. I could have brought all that up. You know, I mean, I think I've been not considering these people have no problem. These are the same. This is the same group of people. I'm not attaching it to one person. The same group of people that decided that reaching out to, again, someone I said is, you know, they're recovering alcoholic. They shouldn't bother them. Like, that's somebody that was close to me. What they do, they try to weaponize them. They said at first they thought it would be scary to threaten to dox them too. You know, by the way, they pulled up the wrong person, but I digress. But yeah, I mean, that's what loved ones mean, right? It's funny, especially coming from, it's very rich coming from Bruce, you know, because Bruce brought in some of the worst people ever. That's so he can pretend his hands are clean, you know. He recruits crazy. A person quite later, they've brought in 2 people with serious mental issues, you know, that we know of. 2 of them for sure documented. We have one that was documented in court. We have another one that was not only documented in court as well during procedures, but they have talked about it repeatedly, even saying they're ADA protected. You can see them spin out online. I mean, there's something majorly wrong when the person is not sleeping. They're on Facebook all night. It seems like all day, running dozens of alt accounts. It's fucking lunacy, you know, making all these crazy videos. And like they said, not getting paid for it too. That's the weirdest thing, man, you know? Give me a minute here. Let me see. I can't see a freaking chat. Give me a second. I've got to fix it. Sorry. All right, there. Max Lab. I couldn't see it locked up for a minute. I was making sure we were still live. I was like, wait a minute. I think I lost the chat. We're good there. Max Lab, thanks for the 2. Check the email. The 2 about, yeah, I saw that, man. Again, they want to add a bounty. You know, $1,000 to prove. I think Jeremy Hales has posted information about them calling him a predator. They've made some interesting statements in the past. What's weird, too, is they're monetizing Lynette again. They're trying to switch. You know why they're doing that, by the way? They're doing that because they're trying to change the topic. They don't want people talking about the money anymore. Because if they talk about the money, that's a problem. So they want to flex. They want to act like they're back in Lynette again. Hey, we'll give $1,000 if. By the way, whose $1,000 is that? Are you paying with donor money? I mean, it makes me wonder, are you going to pay with donor? Because they're not going to pay anyway. But are you offering donor money? Is that what it was allocated for? Did donors sign off on that? Because I'm sure with everything else, if there really was $1,000, whose money would that be? But they definitely want to flip the script. They want people to stop talking about the money, about the chaos that's come up and more. They want to pretend, oh, it's just stress and more. No, it's people mistrusting. It's thinking that there is something majorly wrong. And again, $18,000, they fucked up by bringing that number up. They really messed up by trying to hyperinflate the cost of fencing. Again, Lynette can get in line and can start being nice again. But at the end of it, Lynette, I mean, it costs you money every day, I bet. So that'll be interesting to see. We're going to, after all of that public fireworks, it's definitely going to be money that's brought up in a court too. That bankruptcy, 100%, because it is money that was allocated for her. Oh, what a crazy world, man. But I checked that. Thank you, Max. I appreciate it. Appreciate you too. All the time, my friend. You know, thank you. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for keeping an eye on stuff. Yeah, much appreciated, bro. Suzanne dropped that membership. Thank you for the membership. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to Tugs Thugs. Thank you, Suzanne. I love saying that. So thank you. Andre, thanks for the tip. Children should never be brought in and involved. Yeah, it's crazy. What's really weird about it is, like, they put this kid that they have utilized this kid. It's funny, like, they keep bringing up my kids and talking about, oh my God, Tug grifts off them. And I'm like, dude, you guys are fundraising off of a kid that you don't even have. It's not your child. And you're like the guardian of that. They can't have the money that you picked up. What the fuck? You want to flip the script, but that's nasty business. That is totally a reality check on that. Because people will open their wallets to them. If it's about Lynette, I don't know how far they pry those open, but they've pried them open because, again, a lot of people, I think everyone wants what's best for that little kid. And again, whether you like or hate some of the people involved, I know a lot of people, including I've seen the conversation. I think some of the back and forth, it definitely makes sense about, like, the big donor. But the one thing about the big donor is I think they tried to do a good thing. I think a lot of other people tried to do good things. I think they tried to help out, and it became about something else. And I think they proved that. They have like, what more proof do you need than the last few days? When they threatened to throw the person, they were like, give all this money. By the way, we're going to throw them overboard at the first sign. You betrayed us. What? You asked about the money. You betrayed us. I mean, again, the letter that she was sent, the thing that she read, give me a second. The thing that she read, it's right here. It stated, quote, she has gotten really obsessed about the money being made off her story. Her new lawyer has looked into how much everyone is making, including you. Of course, she's getting upset because she's watching this money and it's depleting. I'm sure she is. I'm sure she's sitting there, and at first she was like, ooh, money, money, money. But now when she needed $5,000, like I said, 2L said publicly, if people didn't catch that she could not have $5,000. She would not let her have it. Not her money to withhold from her. But she would not let her have it. I mean, they say this stuff. If Lynette Preston falls back in line, man, I mean, holy crap. I mean, we saw them threatening to tear down her fence. Oh, holy shit. What they've done is they've co-opted your story, lady. They haven't come in and covered it. Like, for me, for example, I don't stream when Hale's is streaming. I'll pull up stuff, but I try not to damage anything. And, it's not my story to tell. I'm talking about something that is a daily crazy. They know it. But this is just me covering something. Again, it's not about me. I can't make statements about, oh my God, if we ever had a problem, I'll throw you overboard. What? What in the world? Could you imagine that? I can't even comprehend trying to make a statement. Like, what? But that tells you the difference here. Like, for me, if there, first of all, there's not a problem, but there were, there would be an easy way to have fixed these issues. They could have publicly accounted for what they spend. But, the problem is if they make public accountings of everything, if they try to tell, like, regular people that a fence row, a one row of fence cost 20 grand, and they ignore the Lowe's cards and ignore all this other money they brought up, it's not as easy. They may have like a little group of culty people that want to believe that, but my God, most people are like, yeah, there's something wrong here. You've been lied to. What about this lawyer? What have we been lied to? Anyway, I digress. God, I could go on about that. The Freckled Ginger, thanks for the 10. I'd like to apologize that my vision lost and need to use Cabs Harm's channel. Upsets mods. Now it's Freckled Ginger. Here's the thing, mods. We do probably need to. Okay, we need to figure out an accommodation. I'm not sure how we do that, but we do need to figure out something. One of the things, the reason the cap thing was a problem is because you would get spammers, and all they would do is spam giant blocks of capitalized bullshit, and it would destroy like the ability to communicate in chat. But I hear you. Like I said, I hear you on that too. So the mods are doing something that 100% trying to help out the channel there. So this is nothing on the mod either. Love you guys. Appreciate you. With that, I do hear you too. So, with accommodation, I don't know the answer to that, yet. Again, we're trying to walk. It's a ever evolving thing too, because unfortunately what we run into is there's these horrible people out there that want to, I'll tell you about horrible people. Like at one time I used to give out wrenches to anybody, I made everybody a mod. Why? Because who cared? Somebody shouldn't have power over you. Yeah. So everybody got to be a mod. Sounds good, right? Well, then one day somebody decided that they would be an asshole and they would try to ban any new people that were super chatting. They would remove them and ban them because they tried to hurt the channel. So I was like, I can't do that anymore. So, I mean, it's an everybody. I'm not comparing one to the other. I'm just saying like everything is a response. But yes, we'll figure out an accommodation there. And thank you too. I appreciate that. But we'll figure something out with that. Freckled Ginger. You yourself, name wise. Just, I don't know. With that, I'd be like, I don't want to say Tug said. I don't know. I hope the mods can remember like specific people. But like again, I don't know the way, because again, I'm not gonna be like, do you have a disability? No, like I said, I appreciate all of you. I myself have a disability, so I get it. I do. There are accommodations, and as I get older, my Lord, my vision. I'm not comparing that. I'm just saying my vision show ain't what it was. That's for sure. And I wonder in 10 years if I'll be typing in caps too, just to be honest. So I hear you, but love to you, and again, we'll work it out. We'll figure it out. Okay. Tracy, thanks for the 5 memberships there. Thank you. That is awesome. There's a whole block of these, by the way, and they're awesome. I saw this block fall in. So props to all of you in this. Tracy, they appreciate you always here. Much appreciated. Fallen Hero dropped a gifted membership in there as well. Like this block was cool to watch fall in. Thank you, Fallen Hero, again. Appreciate it. Man, I need to see your avatar like larger. I want to look at it. Send me a picture of your avatar one day if you don't mind. I talk about it. I like to see it blown up. You are. Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. I like your avatar too. It's awesome. It looks like a good movie. It looks like a cross between either serious or it could go into a comedy. One or the other. I love it. I like it. I like it a lot. I love it with the Muppet. The Muppet just adds like another flavor. I love it. Maybe not. What's up? Maybe not. How's it going? Thank you for the 5 giftos there as well. Thank you. Thank you, all of you. That's much appreciated. But if you notice, like through those, a lot of people, I love those because, again, it's something that gives to everybody. And thank you all. Suzanne, thanks for the 10 months there. Is this a nightmare or reality? Either way is horrible. Yes, it is very bizarre, isn't it? It is. Hashtag Temu Crew. Indeed. Sometimes when I look at it, I'm like, it's more like a fever dream. You know, you ever have one of those, like when you're sick and you have these bizarre dreams? I feel like I'm having one of those, you know, sometimes, like a really bizarre dream on it. Emmy, thanks for the 10 there. So the felon is upset because his wife is committing felonies. Well, it is interesting. You know, again, when the background of some of these people was brought up, they told people it was a lie. It was crazy. And again, I think that you have a legit reason to bring up, hey, look at all this money. Look at the backgrounds of some of these folks. Why are you giving them access to it? Now, down the road, you have a concern about it. Again, you have a person that wasn't supposed to be linked to it that is now linked to all this stuff. Like, oh my God, man. You know what, though? These ecosystem fucking, they just, many of them would just clap like they're flapping fins, man. They just applaud whatever. They just never question anything. I'm telling you, down the road, what has to happen? Like, do you have to have everything disappear? Like, what do you need to see before you're like, yo, I got to take it? It's so weird. They've joined in with the Jeremy Hales. I hate him. So I don't get it. I don't. And just because, even if you didn't like Jeremy Hales, what makes these people good? You know, after everything you've seen, what makes them good? PDW, thank you for the membership. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to Tugs. Thank you, PDW. That is much appreciated too. Ale, thanks for the 2. Emailed you the hungry turtles. Oh no, I gotta see it. Hungry turtles. I need that. I need the real game in my life, you know. Give me 1 second. Hungry turtles. I love the freaking turtles. There it is. Let's see it. Let me look at it. Oh, they look so sad. Look, it's a start. Now, look, let me show you. I like this, but here's my vision of it. Check this out. I like it. I love what you've started with that. It's funny. Oh, man. Give me a sec. I'll come back to it in just a second. My computer, man, it is. I think, you know, you put so much wear on these machines. I think my tower is starting to give out here. So, oh God, you gotta be kidding me. This thing was a replacement computer. It during the DEP trial, I spent so much time doing stuff online that my tower gave out, and my microphone. I actually had 2 microphones give out. One of them I keep as a reminder of it. I'm going to set up. This computer, I had to get a stand-in tower too. And this tower is like, I hate you. You put too much time and stuff on me. Look at this. This is funny. Look how sad they look. See, what would be really funny in this, like the way I'm envisioning it, like I like it. I like this, by the way. That is funny. The turtles would need to be a little bit bigger, and they have to pretend to be friends at first. Like there has to be some way. Like just you got to add this item. Yeah, they can reach in and try to eat the ball. You know, they need to be money shaped, by the way. And like I said, I'm not criticizing this at all. I love it. I think it's funny. I'm just saying in my mind, I've got this picture. But you have the turtles with their little feet. They're like set out and they're almost joining feet, like they're holding hands. But then they can reach over. You have like a little button there, and they can reach over and slap each other in the face and keep them from eating, because there can only be one. That's so funny. I love it. Thank you, by the way. That is really funny. God, I like that idea. Allie, that is good. I like it. Just Jay, thanks for 5. Hey, Tug. Well, you raise money for my fence. I won't complain about it at all. Also, I don't even have a barn. Indeed. You know, do I get to keep it all and pretend? What if I raise for you? I'll raise $20,000 for your fence. You know, this worked for the ecosystem, right? Then I'll deliver you. I'll go over and I'll get a matchbox fence and I'll mail it to you. How's that sound? Or some Legos. We could build you a little miniature fence. We'll be like, look, that's $20,000 easy. You know how much work it was to put that together? You know how many hundreds and hundreds of hours I had to put in? Oh, yeah, I love it. Maybe not, thanks to the 10 there. Crowdfunding and book stocking. Indeed. Oh, crowdfunding. Oh, man. Crowdfunding is an interesting thing. When you see people that touch on the pulse of an audience, you know, when they go out and they say, we need to give to this or that. Again, the message there resonated with at least one person to the point they gave 56 grand. So it did resonate. Plus, not just the super chats on top of it. Okay. I guess they, with only me, I wonder, by the way, did he not donate for the last little while? I saw that he had dropped coin in other chats, and he's talking there, which is fine, by the way. I'm not even saying anything on that, pro or con. This is money, do whatever he wants with it. But did they give him, like, they were like, he's not worth the time anymore because he's not giving us money? So interesting, isn't it? Now they've changed it to $1,000, man. Remember, that's just deflection, by the way. It's all deflection. If they change the script up, maybe they can get Lynette Preston back in line. Rage, thanks for the 20. Can you spend a minute talking in Hello's case and post Mike's GoFundMe? Actually, I'm waiting for Mecca to come back, and that way we can do it with that. But yeah, the Marancini thing, what we'll do is we'll talk it together. That's why I haven't done anything with it yet, but that's what I'm waiting for there. But it needs resources to find. Also, candy, crafts, med, bill fund stuff to y'all. Yeah, for sure. Like I said, when we when we discuss it, what will make it resonate with people and help fund Mike Marancini with Laura Owens is to present it well, that way, because it's not just about the stream you do. It's about the people who see it afterwards too. If I just shoehorn it in here, then I feel like it not only does it a disservice, but we won't get the why it's needed as much. But yes, for sure, we will. When Megan gets back, that's what I plan to do. I've got it on the itinerary, and so does she. We had talked about it. Excuse me. We had talked about how we needed to do that before. I'm glad it got set up. But, her going after a protective order that's so ridiculous. But yeah, that's on the itinerary for sure. Just Jay, thanks for the 5. She brought this against Jeremy and I initially, talking about lips. Yeah, I'll never let it go. No, indeed. You shouldn't. You shouldn't, man. She tried to ruin your business too. Like, if you want to be outraged for somebody, be outraged for, like I said, J-Hip too. Because, again, this person not only brought that against them to try to silence them, but then went further. Cynic and Chief, thanks for 5. Liv's probably got something from the bar about whether we should practice in law by helping to read us. That's why the voicemail, she's no longer, quote unquote, helping. Indeed, that's you're probably right about that, Probably right about it. I figured there was a bar complaint or something. But it is, it's interesting too, for them to drop out. I said, there's no upside to them being violent. I don't understand why any of these people in the ecosystem, why they link to somebody that they don't like. They keep saying that this person's not a good person. Talk about not liking other people involved in it. Why'd you cover it? You didn't, and the answer can't be that you looked at the case and thought this or that, because they told you all they did was do an interview. If it was research, and you did plenty of research and, looked at it from both sides and then decided on it, that'd be one thing. But that is not what happened. It was far, far beyond it. But yeah, you're probably right, Cynic. Just Jay, thanks for the 5. Funny, it's been 90 minutes running through the hodonks. Yeah, you said a few hours later it's gone. Does not make me stop. It shouldn't, man. It shouldn't. These people are a punchline. Like I said, I told you how I would stop. T-Stay, thank you for the 10 gifted memberships. Thank you very much, T-Stay. It is good to see you too. Love the gifted memberships, by the way. All of you do that. Again, they are amazing. I love that it bonds people, so I like it. Bonnie, thanks for the 5 there. Note to lips, won't get to heaven holding the devil's hand. Indeed, that is very true too. Well, the sermonizing, there's a lot of people in there that sermonize. You notice that with the ecosystem. They come in and they tell Jeremy Hales about good and about evil. Look at their actions. I mean, they're crazy. Angela, thanks for the 30 there. Do a Tug. Be a great read. Ugh, man. I want to, oh my God. I actually want to go over, speaking of read, I kind of want to go over certain documents out there that y'all still haven't seen. Heck, with the lips thing, again, you all haven't even seen the, well, even a little bit of it. One second. So also, Angela, thanks for the 20 there too. When it's put together like that, I make you cry. That's horrible. God, man. What do you think, by the way? Just saying everything that's going on. What do y'all think with all the time that's been spent on all of this? Thank you, Angela. You know, with all the time that's been spent on this and everything these people have done, does it ever just shock you, horrify you? It makes me sad that people, like the Ray situation is a sad situation to me. You know, he should have been spending time with his family, his loved ones. But instead he chose to jeopardize whatever, and he's not commenting on cases. In fact, he talked about harassing Jeremy Hales. He was totally good with it. Follow him around and do this or do that. I mean, they never show proof of anything. You know, just sit in your garage and talk about dumb crap. Because when we found out his name, what was his first thing that he did? He was doing ADL, trying to go after the ADL. So when we found that out, it wasn't just like he was randomly talking to people. Again, but now, suddenly, after people noticed his name, you notice how many of them tried to mobilize too and be like, Ray's not a part of this. Why is that? Why is there this uniformed voice too? Why do they want to do that? Are they trying to grift Ray? Is that the plan? I mean, they already started raising some money. You know? One second here. Melissa, thanks for the 5. I believe Liz was doing all of this under her husband's license. I think the big change is he found out. Maybe. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I don't want to cut him a check on, you know, maybe he never knew. Because again, there's been somebody talking in the background of some of this stuff. Who? I don't know. But maybe he did know. Maybe he didn't. You know, if he did, maybe he didn't realize like how stupid some of this is. Yeah. Maybe also he thought Jeremy Hales and everybody else was just like all these other people that she had tried to take down in the past. Not a big deal when people can be bullied into submission, but it is when people can fight back. I mean, most people, like I said, they're not willing to throw down. But so Jack's mom, thanks for the 5. Doesn't them calling LP a liar confirm what Jeremy Hales has been saying? Yes, indeed. This indeed it. It seems like it would hurt the ecosystem's case, which I'm okay with. It just seems stupid. Yes. It also should hurt it publicly, shouldn't it? You know, this person's a liar and turns on people. Wait, I thought you said that made you a hate group if you said something like that. Like I remember talking about when I said that these people would turn on each other. They made that a big talking point. And what we see, they turn on each other over money, just like I said, you know. Just Jay, thanks for the 5. Now we have Juggers. Juggers. Since Megan is phased out. Jay, Tug, Rob, Rosalind, and Star. Poor Megan. we have the Juggers now. Oh my Lord. That's funny. Man, I want to see a Thunderdome between you two. Although I know who would win. You know, she pull a chainsaw out of her hair. You don't have hair to hide anything in, man. You're doomed. Keith, thanks for the 5 there. Jeremy Hills may have the bankruptcy trustees going after 2 L's at all for Lynette. Yeah, so he can then take it all from her, be on the creditor committee. Indeed. I mean, you know, they say that it can't come up. Yeah, it can. What gives him access? Because it's her money. They never have supplied any proof whatsoever about money. And the amount, again, maybe they have morons that'll believe the story about how much it is online. But a bankruptcy committee, they're not so nice about that. Oh man, look, Julie, what's up? It is your birthday. Let's bust out some birthday time.
Happy birthday from both of us to you. Happy
Birthday, yeah, baby.
May all your dreams come true. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
We love to have you here. Happy birthday. Here's to another year.
Happy birthday to you, and love to you also, Crafty Mom. Thank you. That's awesome. Lawanda, by the way, said, "Hey, sorry, tonight's been my first night listening in over a week and a half. I had to take a break from all the nonsense, but I'm back." Yeah, you do what you need to do, and then I understand. You know, some of this stuff, it gets crazy, lunacy. You have stuff that comes up. This is supposed to be diversionary, past, and it also keeps you involved in something that I think is important too. But it's also a diversion and crazy. You know, so don't let it take you away from everything else, you know? Don't, you know, you do your thing, but then come back if you want, you know, but thank you too. And the last week too, I guess you've missed a lot, you know? Oh my Lord. Like the stuff that's popped off in the last week alone. Whoo, man. So isn't that, yeah, it's something. You got people knives outing over money. Ooh, man. Janice, thanks for the 10 there. Tongue. I think Hooked Lips is still involved. So many anonymous posts, ever verbiage, and swear it's her on several sites and YouTube pages. She's still slamming Jeremy, calling us hodunks. I'm sure. I'm sure. I won't believe that she's out. You know, she just wants to be out publicly. Is she out behind it? I have no idea there. But I doubt it. Oh, man, Cynic in Chief. Look, we're going to have to bust out a birthday with that. Happy 0th birthday for my new cousin. Hey, brand new. That's awesome, man. That is awesome. Let's bust that new birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy new birthday. Yeah, baby. Really, baby.
All of us to
you. Happy birthday.
May all your dreams come true.
Even though you can't understand this song. Happy birthday, kiddo.
We love to have you here. Happy birthday. Here's to many.
That's awesome, dude. That's great news. You know? That is. It's great. I love it. When I say baby, I never thought about it really being there. Janice, thanks for that. I have permanent vision damage in my left eye from a full thickness macular hole. Typing in caps helps me too. My kids laugh at how large my print on my phone is. Can't increase the font on YouTube. Yeah, like I said, we'll figure something out. And thank you, Bill. Again, you know, mods, like I said, mods love to you too. Nothing negative in that statement at all. They are trying to help out from these crazy spammers. Again, they used to just try to destroy the chats, you know, and it was so you're every react like to, unfortunately, like for a while, YouTube had a very bad time with these crazy types of scammers and spammers. Ugh. So, but yeah, that's not you all. So we'll figure it out. Just Jay, thanks for the vibe. But basically the best mod. When Tug gave me a wrench, told me not to do anything, he gave me lots of confidence. Yeah. That also is a thing with anyone with a wrench. I've told other people that too. You moderate as you need to. There are people out there that the one thing that helps, there's specific bad things that come up. Like if a kid pops on or something, some of these people that are around, maybe they need a little removal. But besides that, you helping out here or there are not. I mean, it's just some people that have it, you're appreciated, and he keeps the bands off of you. Christine, thanks for the 5 months. There's actually a Hungry Turtles game. Oh, really? So there is one. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to look it up. That's awesome. I'm gonna have to look up Hungry Turtles. Pickle Tank, thanks for the 9 months. I keep seeing a cross between Hungry Hippos and Rock'em Sock'em Robots with turtle heads. Oh, that'd be awesome. Rock'em Sock'em Robots with turtle heads would be fun. Yeah, they got to fight about money. We need a jar of money. We need something. We need a new game. Here's a game idea. We could have like 2 cranes. Those little like the claw machine games. You could have a blue bucket in the middle, and have money in there. And these 2 cranes, they have to fight each other. They're long enough where they can hit each other, bam, bam, and knock each other back and forth. Maybe knock each other out of the fight too. But you got to see over a certain time period, like which one can grab the most loot and try to disable the other one and knock them out. That'll be fun. That would be good. SF, thanks for the vibe. By saying Ray isn't a part of it, aren't they admitting there is something to be part of? That's true too. That the rest of them are. Yes, indeed. It does seem like that, doesn't it? He's not part of our conspiracy. Wait, what? That does sound bizarre, doesn't it? What an admission. What an admission indeed. You are definitely right in that. Also, SF, I believe I missed one of your chats at the end. I think it was you. I meant to write it down, and I had a raider come in yesterday right after it, but it was right at the end of the chat. And again, apologies for that. Sometimes we have a delay. Sometimes it's about 15 seconds on the delay. So sometimes I'll miss something right when it's coming in. We Toast, thanks for the gifted membership there. Thank you, We Toast, too. Much appreciated. We Toast. Because I love that avatar. Oh, me and Sexy Toast. We're such good friends there. Rhea Wright, thanks for the 2. My favorite part about the birthday song is you singing. What's funny is StreamYards mutes you out. I unmute myself so I can sing along. It does. Like if you notice, if there's a symbol that comes up, look, I'm going to show you. It'll mute me. But watch my avatar. Like it'll have a little microphone mute thing that comes up. But I don't know if you can see that actually. Maybe you can't see that. Well, we have a little mute icon that comes up. I don't know actually if you can see that. Maybe you can't. Emmy, thanks for the 5 gifted memberships too. Thank you for that as well, Emmy. That is much appreciated. Love it. I love singing the birthday song. I love, it's part of just saying, hey, I appreciate you folks. You got a birthday that comes up. I would, and if a person, like if you have a birthday that's come up and I don't know about it or something, that's, hey, you're appreciated as well. I feel like if we went through the entire chat with like 3,000 people, ooh, that'd be a mess. But I appreciate it. I would sing to every one of you if I could. Janice, thanks for the 10. You have great mods. Yeah, they're just doing their jobs. I'm a mod on a wildlife rehab page, and the spammers and bots and scammers are relentless. My delete button gets smoking while deleting their. Indeed. It is amazing how much garbage comes flowing in from these people. I'm shocked, from these scammers and stuff. I was showing you the Johnny Depp scammer. That scammer, by the way, got mad when I laughed at them and tried to break into my Twitter account. And then they got mad because I posted and laughed at it and tried to break into my account again. And so these scammers, man. I think I have 5 fake Johnny Depps that are trying to scam me for money right now. And I'll pick one out here and there. You wouldn't believe how many scammers. That's the other thing. Like if you write on social media sometimes, Twitter is getting harder to find messages from new people because there are so many scammers that pop up. You would not believe the amount of them. The Wanda takes the 5 there. Please, I beg you to never ever make me a mod. All the mods, yeah, would for sure kick me off. LOL. This is funny. Actually, with being a mod, like I said, some people are like, it's stressful, Like certain people know, and I hear you, by the way, I very much do. If you feel like that, all it is, a lot of times, because of the wrench, if people have had problems, especially like if you've been muted on accident or something, I'll also put that on some people sometimes. That way you can't accidentally be banned, and you won't have a problem with that. People that, again, I would give out armies of wrenches too. The only problem is that in the past I learned about that. I learned a hard lesson with that. It was sad. And it's made me, if you ever wonder, like, why don't I have one? Man, I'd give every one of you out there a wrench and let you go to town, It's just, like I said, it's a hard lesson in the past. Some people, you got to remember, like, when you look at some of the ecosystem, you realize some of those people are disgruntled mods for channels. Like they were fans to begin with. Like when you listen to them talk, they want revenge for some perceived slight. It's so bizarre, isn't it? So that makes you a little trigger shy, I think, sometimes. But anyway, folks, I'm going to bounce for this. God, that's a good idea, D. Ellis. I might think about that too. All right. Thank you, folks. I appreciate you. Redirect. I don't know who's live. Like I said, I'll get back to redirects next week, I think. I've been block streaming, so typically I usually, even though I'm on, I have a day back and forth, but this week has been crazy. I've been the only one on live, which is great. I do love being here, but yeah, it makes that effort crazy too. But anyway, I appreciate y'all, and I'm going to end here. See ya.